So welcome back to our next video in a series of tutorials as you set up your own classroom Moodle. In the last video, we looked at setting up the user profile. This tutorial will now look at the course settings for your individual Moodle course. When we left off at the last training, we had just modified our user profile. Those steps left me at my home page in Moodle. If you are somewhere else in Moodle, you can always get back to the home page by clicking on the home button in the upper top navigation bar. I call these breadcrumbs as they will help you find your way and navigate through your course. So now you'll remember that the courses that you have access to are listed under your home page course overview. If you've taken online courses with me, you might see them listed here. This is also where students will see courses they are enrolled in as well. So let's go ahead and click on your course, and this is going to take us into the course that we have set up for you. Now that we are here, you'll notice the page is formatted a bit differently. You'll notice my course, I still have a left and right dock with blocks in those docks. Then the main portion of my course will be built in the middle of the page by building activities and resources, which we will look at in the next tutorial. Before we go further, you do have a few docking options. If you hover your mouse over the icons to the top right of the docks, you'll notice that you have the option to hide the block or to dock it. Hiding it will collapse that block, and docking it moves it over to the left-hand column, and it gives you kind of a handy little tab for accessing it for future use. I prefer to have mine docked, so I'm going to go ahead and dock both of mine right now. So now I want to look at the settings block. That block is in the settings, so if I just hover right over that tab that I just blocked and select Edit Settings, it is going to, there we go, take us into the area where you can make some modifications around the look that is going to impact your course. First thing you'll notice is the name of your course. Is it correct? Do you need to change it? If you do, go ahead and do that now. This is going to show up on the front page of your course, so you want to name it something that your kids are going to be able to identify with. Notice that you also can add in a description for your course, maybe a summary of sorts. You'll remember too from our first tutorial that this text box has some options that you can edit the text with. So after you have that entered, let's scroll a bit further down, because what we get to next is one of the most important decisions that you're going to have to make with how you're going to format your course. There are 4 options listed here under the format option, but we're only going to talk about 2. And one is the topics format, and the other one is the weekly format. Both of them are going to do the exact same thing for your course. It's just adjust the way that information is presented to your students, and I'll illustrate this. So let's look at the weekly format. So I'm just going to click the drop-down menu, select that weekly format, and I'm just going to jump clear to the bottom and save these changes. It's going to take me back to the course homepage, and from here you're going to see that I now have a weekly outline. Whoops, there we go. A weekly outline of blocks in my course. I don't have any content yet, obviously, so you won't see that, but you will notice the weekly view of that. So now I'm going to go back into my settings. Oops. There we go. I'm going to go to Edit Settings, and now I'm going to scroll down to the format, and I'm going to change this to a topic format. Again, I'm just going to scroll down. I'm going to save these changes so that you can see the difference here. So now instead of it being set up by a weekly format, I have various topics that I'm able to build. Again, no resources or activities yet, but just a different look. So again, it doesn't matter which one of these you choose. They both are going to present your content in a similar manner. Bottom line is that one of them organizes by weeks and dates, and the other one organizes by topics. It just depends on how you want to present that information to your kids. However, it is best to decide on one and then leave it set that way for the year. I'm going to leave mine set at a topic format for now. So let's keep working our way down some of the other options that you have here. You are able to change the number of weeks and topics that you have showing. And I think by default this is set to 10, and at some point here I changed mine to 15. But anyway, you can play around with that a bit as well. You do want to change the course start date. Now obviously that's going to make a big impact if you have a weekly format option selected for your course. But regardless, you're still going to want to change the date. So let me get in and change it to today, and good. Okay, as we work our way on down, news items we'll talk about later, but for now I'm going to leave that at showing 5. You can identify if you want the Moodle gradebook to be shown to your students. This does not have any connection with Infinite Campus, however. And then the maximum file upload size. Unless you have a reason to change this, leave it set at 512 megabytes. Depending on the size of project and work that your students are starting to upload, you might find that they really need some of that increased size. And then this takes us down to a theme. So the themes in Moodle are all pretty clean and clear. If you want to change it and try out a few, you need to select one and then scroll to the bottom and save it before you get a preview. The theme that I like is overlay, so I'm going to go ahead and change my theme to reflect that now. So this brings us up to the guest access block. By default, guests are not going to be allowed into your class. And when you start, or if you start, giving out your Moodle web address, you definitely want to change this to yes, so that guests are able to access your course. I'm going to leave mine at no for now. The groups, let's skip over. We're going to address that when we get to enrolling your students. And then finally, this brings us down to availability. And this is going to indicate whether or not your course is available to students. So let's scroll clear down. I'm going to save the changes on that. This is going to take me back into my course homepage. You can see that my settings and navigation blocks are docked, that I have changed my topical format. Well, I guess I've changed the format to a topical format. I've added 15 topics, and that's been reflected, and you also can see the blue theme that I've added as the theme of my Moodle course. So these are the basics in setting up your course. Again, the key point is to decide if you are going to display your information in a topical format or in a weekly format when presenting to your kids. This is the end of this tutorial, and from here what you'll need to do is go back to your Moodle course and set up options that we just discussed in your own course.